Vertical integration used to be the gold standard, but today, most investors already expect it. The real gap opening up between average operators and elite ones comes down to artificial intelligence. I'm AJ Smith from the Best Ever team, and today we're showing you what happens when an operator embeds AI directly into leasing, operations, and performance management. Joining us today is Justin Spillers. He's the co-founder of Real Estate Alpha. Justin manages over 1,000 units, generating $1 million in monthly cash flow with a 10-year track record of paying every single investor on time. Today, he's breaking down the exact AI integration that quadrupled their lead conversion rates and showing you how to evaluate whether an operator's tech stack is actually driving LP returns. To learn more, head over to realestatealpha.io. Justin, the floor is yours.
Great. Thanks a lot, AJ. I really appreciate that. Thanks everybody for joining and attending. I'm pretty sure this is recorded, will be sent out afterwards too, including these slides. So feel free to reach out if for some reason you don't see it too. I kind of have a structure here, but really you'll see the passion that I and we have for AI by me jumping around because I'm going to think of more and more things as I go along. So bear with me to the end. Hopefully you get some good tidbits to use. But really, it truly is an unfair advantage. And I talk about this often now. We went to a conference in Chicago and they had a panel of 8 large operators. Most, if not all, were larger than us. And they were talking about AI, and 7 of the 8 did not think that AI provided a lot of value in their business currently. And I was just completely shell shocked. That just took me by surprise. Only one person on the panel said it had a big effect for them. But I was excited, right? That's great. The biggest players haven't adopted this yet. I try to be in front on the tech stack and try to be on the cutting edge, but it just shows how far behind some of these organizations are. And it's not about wasting tokens, creating unneeded tools, and just having people query weird questions or things that they get these long, elaborate, wishy-washy answers on. That's not it at all for us. So it's all about leverage and speed. We use AI everywhere solely for speed. Speed's the backbone of our entire business model. We're fully vertically integrated operators. But you'll see that kind of ooze through it and knowing that we don't rely upon AI as a replacement. We use it solely as leverage to leverage our team members, to leverage our processes, to leverage our speed. And so we see it as an accelerant. It's kind of like getting more cash in your business using AI with what you already have. So it's definitely not a true replacement yet. In some instances, it has allowed us to reduce headcount, but we use it more for leverage than anything else. So I want to set the precursor there of that. A lot of people aren't doing this yet. You're not behind. Now's the perfect time to get ahead of it because it's coming fast and it's already here for a lot of instances. Okay, so kind of wanted to dissect this into operators. So I'm going to run through some true use cases of how we use it as the operator. The functions AI has really changed our numbers and our business model, how we get ahead of renewals, how we predict the future using AI for acquisitions, how we measure every team member. And then if you're an investor, not an operator, why this matters is that the companies you invest with, the operators you invest with, they need to understand this. They need to use this because this is the data and the tools that are super important to use an investor to make sure your operators know like the back of their hand. You want to see AI built into every function of real estate operation, not just bolted on for a pitch to make it sound shiny and fancy, but truly being used. You want to see the operational numbers that protect your investors, the lease up speed, the turn times, the occupancy, the NOI, and how AI can accurately show that and also add leverage in the systems to make those numbers even better as it compares to your competition. And then what really that AI edge looks like, I'll dive into here too. So whether you're an operator or investor, it's going to be very valuable for both of you. Last time we showed you how to stress test an operator. This is a really good second follow-up webinar for that. If you want to rewatch that or if you didn't see it, there's a link to it in this slide deck that we'll send you as well. Just a little bit about me, though. I'm Justin Spillers. I'm the co-founder and owner of Real Estate Alpha. We have about 1,000 units right now. We're closing on another deal. We'll have 1,100 at the end of August. We do everything in-house. We own it. We manage it. We do the acquisitions, leasing, maintenance, construction, compliance. We do our own capital raising now, etc., all in-house. We truly don't outsource anything. My business partner, Brandon, and I are 50/50 partners. We built this from scratch, one unit at a time 10 years ago. We're truly founder-led in that me and Brandon are intimately involved in all six of our business divisions every single day. So we know how to do all the different processes we use. Brandon owned a construction and a roofing company. He's an engineer by trade. He does a lot of the more hands-on operational items. And then I was a real estate attorney by trade. So I focus more on the sales, the leasing, the back end capital, the legal, the acquisition side of things. We have a really good yin and yang, but we're both very much diversified and know a little bit about all of our divisions to be dangerous. But we were extremely early and aggressive on AI. I mean, from ChatGPT to Grok to now Claude Cowork, we've been using it at the forefront the entire time. So it's been neat to see the evolution the last 3 years or so. But the Claude Cowork changed being able to use their local desktop, not having these crazy Mac Mini setups. It's truly just an app you download on your computer and it runs out the box with the Agentic AI is game changer, which I'll get to a little bit more here. Some more stats on our real estate profile. But the gap that I alluded to earlier, it's not coming, it's already here, right? AI is here. It's not going anywhere. You can use it and toggle and query it extremely easy now. I mean, it's plug and play. They made it so user friendly. Out of the box, it works great. You need no coding experience. You really don't need any AI experience. I mean, it's extremely straightforward, and you just prompt it and ask questions like you would of a super good mentor. So I kind of view it as like, if this person knew more about real estate than anybody else, what would I ask it? And that's exactly how I view my Claude Cowork. I ask it as if it's the best mentor in leasing, as if it's the best mentor in acquisition. And it really is. It's using all the data, the inputs, the variables that you give it, it has access to, and then the web. And it's giving you answers that you don't even think is feasible, possible in 30 seconds, right? Stuff that used to take me 5, 6 phone calls, Google searches, 2, 3 hours of legal research, I get in 30 seconds now. It's actually pretty scary. So speed, that's what I just alluded to. It's unbelievable how fast it is. The clarity, you can just keep asking questions. If you don't understand, say, explain it to me like a fifth grader. Explain it to me like a fifth grader. Give me the exact steps of what to do. And it can just keep making it simpler and simpler for you. And then compounding. So you can build AI on top of AI and have it use internally in your team and stack it in many different ways and fully integrate it, which I'm going to get to more here about the concept of integrating it versus just bolting it on. So what I was talking about bolted on, people use like chatbots. They use a random technology that has AI. They talk about it in the pitch deck. They don't really show how they use it. They have some demos of 1 or 2 use cases, but it gets lost in the shuffle, right? What we do instead is it's built in. It is in our DNA. It's in everything we do. It's in our entire operation, meaning everybody on our team has Claude Cowork downloaded. We have a team account. All the files, information, research is saved in our Google Drive that anybody can query and access and use to build off of each other's work. It's integrated into our Slack. So we use Slack for our entire communication hub for our team. Every single business division has its own channel, and everyone has Claude integrated into it. You can just ask Claude straight in Slack to double check stuff, to give people answers, etc. Say, what would Claude do, basically, is a running joke. So it's hardwired in. And then our Claude is actually API'd and connected to everything. We use AppFolio for our property management. It has access to all the data. We use Elise AI for our leasing. It has access to all the data. We use QuickBooks for accounting. It has access to all the data. We use Open Phone for our calling. Has access to all the data. We use Go High Level as our CRM, has access to all the data. So I can just prompt my Claude. It can go out and get the data and give me a report, give me a dashboard, give me any kind of Google Sheet or spreadsheet I need with information in real time. And it's just super seamless. It's extremely good. And that's all out of the box. Claude can do that now. It's called MCP connectors. That's what I mean by built in. We've taken it one step further. We have a full-time in-house AI virtual assistant. He lives in Ethiopia. He's one of the smartest AI people I've ever met in my life. He's a younger individual. He went to school in Ethiopia for AI, and he does nothing but AI for us. So he kind of helps run and build out all the models, the reports, anything we need full time for us. We also have a 1099 contractor that is our AI specialist as well. We use him for maybe about 10 hours a week, and he helps build the more detailed layering of exactly what we need to make sure everything's fed and customized for our use cases. So we're truly building it into everything we do, not just for a prompt, but actually for recurring tasks that we do, which I'll touch on here later. Um, so this is a great example. I used to have the running joke of Ask Google, right? If someone asked me a question, it'd be go Google it first. Now it's literally ask Claude and don't bring it to me unless Claude approves it and you get a solution. So the easy and lazy way out for a team member is just to come to me or Brandon and say, what would you do? This is my issue. How do I fix this? What do I say? And that's the easy route, right? We can do that. And Brandon and I usually have a good idea or an answer. We've done it, but we want our team members to grow and figure out the best solution on their own. And one great way to do that is to just go into Claude and type in the question and prompt it till you get a really good answer. And then bring us the solution, right? And just let us rubber stamp it. So say, this is my problem. This is what Claude said. This is what I think. Do you agree? And me being able to say yes or no is way better than them coming to, what do I do? Throwing my hands up, right? So allowing that first step to always be get Claude's answer before they bring anything to us has just really, really fast tracked solutions and allowed people to understand what questions, what follow-ups to ask to the AI and where the AI is getting its sources, its answers, and its reasoning. So that's been really, really helpful for us. Everybody uses it now. The amount of questions that I get, our managers get, has drastically reduced because Claude is getting so good. Some of the answers, responses it gives is certainly better than what I could have gave, especially on like legalese, fair housing, things like that. Obviously, you don't want to just blindly rely upon it, but it's really good at navigating compliance, regulatory, legal issues with resident questions, lease questions, etc. I have the benefit of being a real estate attorney. I'm still a licensed attorney, so I can double check and rubber stamp all that still for our team. But 99% of the time, Claude's right. Like it just is completely right, especially on legal issues. It's just gotten really, really good. So kind of brings us to um, anything that we've asked about AI, whether we built it ourselves, whether we had our in-house AI full-time team member do it, or whether we had our high-level AI specialist, there's always a way to do it. So there's never been a nope, can't be done, which I really like. AI always has an answer, which is great. I've never seen it come back and been like, nope, we're abandoning ship. This can't be done. Sorry. It always helps you come up with a solution, so you never hit a roadblock. So that works out really well. So a lot of times when we have new ideas and we're trying to roll out new initiatives, we build a simple brief, an idea, a workflow, etc. Whatever it was that we want to do. We go to Claude, we have it build a simple brief, do the first V, we call it V1, version one foundational step of it, and it gets you going, right? It gets that first word on the paper. If you're an author, it's tough to write that first word, right? Claude is that first word. It gives you the foundation, the starting point for everything, right? It always has an answer, which I really, really love. Again, you don't want to blindly just prompt it, take it, and ship it and use it. You want to tweak it, edit it, modify it, etc., customize it. But it's just a great way to foundationally always get that yes answer and get something started. Um, this really is the best way I can tell you how we use Claude and how we think of AI in our company. There's a book called The Algorithm by John McNeil. He was a high up exec at Tesla. He worked a lot with Elon Musk. He really helped build the framework of how Elon Musk operates in this book. It's really five things. You question every requirement, you make requirements less dumb, so basically, if there's a requirement that has an owner, you challenge it. Doesn't matter who it is, right? And I tell my team this all the time. Even if I tell you, Brandon tells you this is the way, ask why, right? Try to think of a better way. There's no dumb questions, right? I've had some new team members create great ideas because they come in with fresh eyes and a fresh mind of, well, why don't we just do this? One great example is we have 1,000 residents now. We have about 100 move-ins a month as we're growing. Getting that deposit first payment was tough because we don't allow credit cards because of the chargebacks. So it's got to be certified money order, cashier's check, or pay slip. And that coordination across 100 people every month is just a lot. Whether it's getting mailed, lost in translation, the update, etc. One would say, well, why don't we just force everybody to use Payslip? It's super easy. Everybody knows how to do it. Or everybody can do it. Doesn't know necessarily know how to do it. And we never thought about that. And we just switched to that. You can only move in now if you do a Payslip, which basically you go to any large retailer, Walmart, CVS, wherever, and you can pay them using a barcode scan to us directly. We thought that had friction. It didn't. It was very easy to do. The fees were very low. And it's just this instant, right? And it's the only thing we do now. And it's helped us tremendously with move-ins because people can move in same day now. We don't have to worry about where's the check at, is the money good, did it clear? It's allowed us to be way more efficient and make the process simpler. So that was a great question that they asked, and we never thought about that. Let's just reduce all other options and just have one option. So it feeds into number two very well. Delete every possible step in the process. Same thing. AI is so good at this. If you prompt it and say, hey, here's my SOP, here's what we do, make it simpler. Challenge me. What steps can we remove? We do this all the time with Claude to make things simpler, simpler, simpler. Every time I give it an SOP, I say, take 25% out, right? What can we remove? How do we make it easier? The next is simplify, simplify, and optimize. Very much the same thing, but only after you delete something that's when that wasted effort optimizing something that shouldn't exist really comes to light. Like, hey, you realize after the fact, why do we need that? And it just feeds into simplifying more and more parts of your processes. Accelerate the cycle time. Again, speed is everything for us. I'll hit on this a little bit more when I get to our turn times in the construction. We used to take 2.5 to 3 years to turn an entire apartment complex, meaning we buy 100 units to go in, renovate each one, increase rents, get a new resident. It took about 2.5 years. We're doing that in less than 12 months now. We're going to have a 48 unit we 100% turn in 7 months. Speed is absolutely everything to us, and a lot of it's because of the efficiencies that AI has really helped us think through and have some creative ideas. Again, I'll touch on some more there later. And automate, right? That's what AI does. As soon as we have a really good KPI scoreboard update, something someone sends manually, we make it a recurring task in Claude. It becomes automated instantly so that a human's no longer doing it. The AI does it. So the algorithm, those 5 steps, that drives how we think about AI in our business. If you haven't read that book, go grab it. Super easy to read. It's like 4 hours on Audible. If you listen to it 2x, you can get through it in 2 hours. I require all of our team members to read and listen to this book and constantly come up with ideas like this. Um, Vertically integrated. This is the foundation of our company. We do everything in-house. Acquisitions, we have an acquisition manager, 2 acquisition analysts. We look at about 100 deals a month. So pure volume. And we can only do this because of AI. We have our entire AI system built up. So no matter how the data comes in, the rent roll, the T12, whatever we can get, it takes it all. And it is so good now. Puts it into our underwriting model, throws in all the inputs, says where there may be questions, says what data we're missing, and gives us our full model, creates the deal file, creates all the folders in our folder system for us, and spits out what's the open item needed, or if it's all there, it gives us a recommendation if it hits our buy box or not. It's all automated. That's done by AI, by our Cloud recurring task. We've bolted on another third-party provider using AI. I can, if you have interest in that, message me. I can give an intro to them. But they basically built out the MCP connectors we use and the automation workflow there. So when new deals come in, it's done, right? We already have the file, and we're building out our own proprietary database. We have about 5,000 deals now. We have fully underwritten all in the Greater Ohio area. And it's just constantly being built up, right? And we're just adding to it. Our goal is to get every deal in our market that fits our buy box to be in there, and we can see these cycle through. So saves a ton of time not having to have it manually input those data, the information, the rent rolls, etc. And then the next step is it does a full market analysis for us. So it's looking at census data. It's looking at how many units have come online in the area, how many people rent versus own. If there's a positive market shift towards renters or owner operators, if there's a CRA agreement available for us to get our real estate taxes, it's throwing in all these variables and all the pros of the areas versus the cons and feeding us really good real-time data specific to what we do, how we do it, the markets we're in this exact deal, all driven by AI. Then it goes into leasing once we buy a property. Our leasing team is ran like a high ticket sales team. We have 6 setters. Full-time setters, all they do is call leads within 60 seconds. This is all through an AI automated process. I'll touch them here in a second. We have 6 leasing managers. All they do now is virtual showings. We've gone completely virtual. We do no in-person showings anymore. It's been significantly better. The ease of being able to do that has been greatly modified because of AI, which I'll talk about here a little bit more. We have an application manager who runs all the applications using AI. Again, I'll talk more here in a second. We have a move-in manager and we have a leasing manager, and that's our leasing team. And we operate that thing so efficient because of AI. So anytime a new lead comes in, we get 100 to 200 leads per day. They get filtered into our lease AI system. They get automated hit by our welcome text or email, depending upon how it comes in. And then it gets alerted in a Slack channel that all 6 of our setters are in that says the lead come in. They have to click a button to claim it. Again, AI is generating this in our Slack for us. We had our AI contractor build this, and they click it. It tells me how long it took for someone to claim a lead. They call them. They do what we call double dial voicemail text. They call. They don't answer. They call again. They don't answer. They leave a message. They text them. They email them. But the goal is to call everybody in 60 seconds. When a lead comes in, we call them literally in 60 seconds. Your conversion rate goes up 400% if you call an inbound lead in 60 seconds. So all we do is inbound leads there. That's helped out tremendously with the AI running it in our Slack system and the connectors. And then once a leasing setter has a showing that they're going to schedule, meaning they're talking to a lead, if they say, yes, I'd like to do a showing, we truly treat this like, if you've seen the movie Boiler Room, like a reco opportunity. They say, great, one of my leasing managers available, hold for me. They then have an automated message posted using AI in our leasing manager dedicated channel that says, hey, I have a lead for this property who can do a showing right now. And the first LM to claim it using, again, the AI webhook will instantly be joined into a virtual showing with that lead using a Google Meet just like this, and they'll do the virtual showing right there then. So zero downtime, zero risk of coordinating a future showing that they don't show up for. We try to do it as fast as possible. Sometimes they don't have time to do it, so we do coordinate a showing later. But I can see all that data and how quickly it was claimed, who's claiming it, and then we have a scoreboard. Every day at 8 a.m., our Claude runs a recurring task that looks at all the data from the prior day. I can see how many leads came in, how many called were in 60 seconds, how many that wanted to do a showing were claimed by an LM live and joined that showing immediately from the setter, and which setters had the most of those and which LMs had the most showings from that system. So all that's done automated using Claude and a scoreboard. It's posted every day in Slack. I see it every single day. So I know in real time how our leasing team's doing. Had some additional bulletins. We have a full script that our setters have to use, that our leasing team has to use. Every call we make is recorded, and it's fed through a script analyzer. So we have a custom Claude recurring task built that reviews the transcript of every call, and it gives them a score, 1 to 100, 100 being good, on 10 different things. The most important ones is script adoption, overcoming objections, asking for the close. And I can see in real time the score of every single call by individual and how they're trending over time. And I can click and re-listen to it. The AI instantly also gives them post-call feedback on how they could have improved it that our leasing team members are watching. And it's just a super slick process on the leasing side. Going into the application process, same thing. You can do a background check and get the info they supplied to you. We have a full automated workflow then that our Claude cowork will run, and it will check all 88 counties in Ohio, every single source possible to see if they had any sort of criminal record, any prior eviction. It'll check their last known address if it's out of state, not in Ohio, for the same information. And it'll look on social media. It'll look through Google. It'll look through anything else that'll show us any concerning information based upon criminal activity or prior evictions. And it's unbelievable how much more stuff we catch than what AppFolio and at least AI software gives us. I'd say for every 10 leads we deny, 5 of them would have cleared the traditional system, but 5 of them have been 50% have been caught by our AI, our Claude system, and found stuff that didn't come up or get flagged on those other instances. It's just truly remarkable. It happens instantly. It's been a really good screening tool for us to use on the front end. And there's probably a lot of things on the leasing side I'm not remembering that that's just a flavor of how much AI we're using now. So then when we get into the property management side, we manage everything in-house with our own, we call them community managers. And our entire point of this is the customer activation that we do. So, customer activation, again, is like a high ticket sales offering term. When that lead comes in, we want their entire experience to be flawless. We want it to be the best experience ever. So, from lead coming in all the way to renewal time, how can we make it be the best experience possible? And we constantly ask Claude and AI, how do we make it better? How do we make it better? What KPI should we be tracking to get that renewal rate to be over 75%? 70%, we're targeting for 75% next year. That is the sole goal. So a big part of it is we have automatic surveys sent out. The surveys are analyzed by our AI, and if something's not right, it creates an activity for us, for our renewals manager to reach out to them to check in and see how things are going, what they can fix. And a lot of the things are generated of a 1 to 10. A 1 to 10, what is the likelihood of you renewing with us? If it's not a 10, we ask them why, and we have follow-up questions from there. So a big part of the property management side is just providing that world-class service for the entire move-in process. So part of the move-in process too, again, we've gone completely virtual move-ins as well. So we have virtual showings, virtual move-ins. We don't have to have a human meet the lead and new resident in person at any point of our process now. So all that's being driven by Claude and the AI about efficiency, about when our turn team has the unit ready, when it's marked rent ready. It triggers a flood of activities that are all automated through Claude of who needs to do what and when. The CM needs to make sure that that unit has a digital lockbox on it, needs to make sure that our move-in manager knows the lockbox key they can give to the resident as soon as they sign the lease and the pay slip clears. We give them the code to get access to their unit. They move in, all the information they needs there. They need to have the right phone number to reach out to us and ask any questions. If they text us, most of the questions are answered by our AI chatbots. We have a whole repository, an LLM, large language model of all of our top questions that automatically get replied to them. So it's a whole process for our move-in side too. A lot of it's on the backbone of AI. Maintenance, this is all about efficiency, making sure our maintenance members go to the right places. We only have really 3.5 maintenance team members for over 1,000 units. And it's because our AI batches all the maintenance by location, proximity. It looks at how far they need to go, and it gives them a set amount of work orders per day and makes sure to tell them what they need to grab for the truck before they leave the shop, and they can knock out as many work orders as possible. And then we see time studies. So our AI reviews all the maintenance work order tickets. They have to clock them in and out, see how long it should take, give feedback. This one took longer than it should. What happened? Did we not be prepared? Did we forget something on the truck, etc.? And we're constantly using that data to improve that process. And then on the construction side, we turn all of our units. So we're heavy value add. We're targeting 7-day turns. And when we do a turn, it's a full turn, right? All new LVP floor, paint, trim, cabinet, countertop, appliances, bath fixtures, full tones, etc. We do it all. And the way we can do that is we have 2-man crews that are focused on certain things. We have one doing demo, one doing flooring and trim, one doing paint, one doing bath, and one doing kitchen. So that entire workflow is automated by AI, knowing what is the most efficient way for the next unit, what two-person team needs to be where, and again, time studies. So all the work orders that we do for the construction site too, there's a time study for each one, and we compare them against each other, right? So if we have 2 kitchen crews, it can show how long each one's taking, and the AI compares, and it says, well, hey, on this part, on the cabinet install, took you a little longer than normal, and that gets flagged by us, so we can see those triggers. So basically, every function we have, there's AI integrated to make sure we're doing it as efficient as possible throughout the entire process. I'll dive more into each of these, but that's from acquisition all the way to when we turn it, leasing, renewal, management, maintenance. AI is involved in all of this now at a very high level. So I'll really hit a lot of this on the acquisition side. The real important part too is it is so great at taking data and throwing it into a spreadsheet. So for example, our last 12 large communities we bought, we can give it the underwriting files, we can give it the actuals, the pro formas. It'll track it in real time, how our actuals are performing against our pro formas, and then what data from that can we use to know for our future offer prices? Like what do we offer a price per unit, unit type, What type of unit types make us the most money, meaning like a 2 bedroom, 1 bedroom studio, etc. For us, the smaller unit types we make a significant more amount of money on because we can increase the rents, similar price, and it just takes way less to turn them. So we're using AI to really focus in on what types of units we buy as well, where we buy, and throw all the data next to each other. And it stacks it up, and I can see every type of data in an apples to apple comparison. So it really screens the funnel for us, and then it stacks the next one we're underwriting against our last 12. Where does it fit? Is it on average? Does it beat them? Would it be a good purchase, etc.? So using a lot of that to automate the acquisition analysis cycle for us. If it's a coin flip or we're really struggling, we literally use AI like it's our board of directors. We'll say, hey, here's the deal. These are our concerns. What do you think? And it'll give us really good questions to ask. Well, can you go back to the owner and ask them these two things? Can you go back to the broker and ask them this thing? Is this assumption right? Do you really think that the utility chargebacks, you're going to be able to charge back this much? Do you think you could have pushed rent a little bit more here? And it gives you these great pushback questions that Brandon and I are pretty good coming up with our own and now our acquisitions team, but there's just a lot of blinders that we miss, right? And we asked it, like, what do we miss? What are we not thinking about? What's the real risk factors here? And it's just really, really good at acting like your board of directors. And the best part is it learns, right? You keep it in the same session and it uses your past questions and feedback and it pulls them in and brings them in. Like for 3 months ago, say, well, you did this refi and this really went well. This was bad. This would fit up perfectly based upon those assumptions. And it tells you that and it alludes to it if you use the same sessions well enough and stay organized in where you're using your Claude cowork. Um, Leasing, again, I talked a lot about this already. Um, I'd say just some other things too, just low hanging fruit. On the scripts, right? Putting the scripts through it. How do I make the scripts better? We use Alex Hermosi for about everything. We go to his workshops in Vegas. He's one of the best there is on sales. Say, what would Alex Hermosi do? Where would he push us back here? What would he say we could cut out? How would he overcome these objections? Look at these last 10 transcripts from our virtual showing calls for this LM and give me the top 5 things, right? Top ways to improve our script. So it's just a constant improvement. Where can we add a VSL, video sales letter, to our lead nurturing process? So lead comes in to when they move in. What are the main questions we're getting? Look at all my Slack chatter and my community manager and my setter and leasing manager team. What questions are the top ones are asking? Where can we take those top questions and create a video so we send it a 60-second video to the lead to answer those questions proactively? So we're always asking those questions to increase our conversion percentages in our funnel. So if you view the leasing side as a funnel, you should know your numbers, right? So I know roughly we need to have 5,000 leads come in this month. We need to schedule about 1,000 showings. We need about 500 to show up. We need about 450 applications. I need about 200 of them to be approved, and I'll get 100 leases signed and 100 successful move-ins. That's my funnel. And we know those conversion metrics top to bottom. And it's everything we do is how do we improve that funnel? How do we optimize it to get that cost per lead and cost per converted tenant down as much as we can? And these are the questions I'm constantly prompting it. Even like Zillow and apartments.com, our biggest lead generating partnerships, I have them do, oh, sorry. Slack just cut me out there. I have them do the exact same questions. So it listens to our call transcripts with our ZillowApartments.com reps, and I feed it into Claude. I look at all my leads and leasing data, and I say, hey, where do we need to push back? Where do we need to spend more money at? Where do we need more leads at? Where do we need more conversions at? And the AI will review and analyze all the data and give me really good information and ways to push back on our partners there. This is the example. This is literally what it looks like in Slack. So you can see when a new tour gets booked, for example, if we have self-scheduled tours, so we have widgets on our website where leads can schedule their own tours. This comes into a leasing manager chat instantly with the fire emoji. And the first leasing manager to click this button gets that showing, right? So they are highly incented to have these notifications on to claim it as fast as possible. And so they don't wait. So if this showing is for Wednesday at 9:30, let's say today's Tuesday, They're going to click claim this lead, and then they get instructions to remind them to say, instantly call this lead and try to pull them forward. So they have to call this lead as soon as they claim it. If they don't get a hold of them, they double dial voicemail text. But if they do get a hold of them, it's, hey, I'm actually available right now. I had something open up. Can you do the virtual showing right now? And they try to get them to do it now. If not, say, well, can you do it later today? What about 2 o'clock? What about 4 o'clock? They don't want to wait a whole day, because if you schedule out 1 or 2 days, the chance of them showing up drastically decreases. We're trying to get our show up rates to be 60, 70% world class. We do that by pulling it forward and using AI to have these automated messages come through. And I can see the response time. And I know if no leasing manager claims this lead for 5 minutes, I'll get notified. And I'll make sure the leasing managers know, right? So we're always in front of it from a speed perspective. Um, Already talked about virtual showing. Another thing, so asking again, Claude, just hey, what would Alex Hermosi do? It's hey, offer a guarantee. That's going to be the biggest thing. So we actually offer a 7-day money back guarantee. If a resident moves into our apartment and they don't love it and they want to move out, we let them move out in the first 7 days. We rip up the lease. We give them all their money back, no questions, and they can move out. That just removes all of the concern, right? We know our product's the best, or we believe it's the best. We know our customer experience is the best. We know we're going to give them a really good move-in experience. And we put our money where our mouth is. And if they use this, maybe let's say 1 out of 100 do, we give them their money back, right? And we make sure they have a really good taste, even if it's not a good fit for them. If they're trying to use it, obviously we have a whole script on how we try to overcome it, and we try to figure out what the issue is, address it immediately. And by doing this, it prompted us, okay, what's the step we can add to make sure this doesn't happen? So within 24 hours of someone moving in, we have a move-in manager that has to call the resident until they get a hold of them, and they ask them a bunch of questions and make them feel good. But one of them is, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your move-in experience? And if they don't say a 10, we ask them why. And if they say anything like, "Oh, the refrigerator's old," or "It wasn't cleaned as well," we fix it. We swap out the fridge, we go and clean it, we address it so that it becomes a 10, so that they don't even think about using the 7-day money back guarantee. So a lot of these things came about by asking Claude and AI, what would other people do? How can we make the process better? Um, Instant live virtual tours we talked about, how they're scored talked about. Um, Again, renewals, there's a lot of this being automated, meaning we have text messages sent out every quarter. We have emails sent out every quarter. We do surveys. So one big thing was we built out a system. So 100 days out, we give them this long survey. We give them a $10 Amazon gift card to complete it. A decent portion do. And when they do, it asks all these specific questions about their experience, the condition of their unit, etc, and we fix them all. If anything in there is negative, we fix them all. And then and only then, once we do that and they're happy, then we start asking for the renewal. So we address all the issues first, and we have a whole system using AI and automation that asks those questions out. And then we start the 90-day, then 60-day, then 30-day renewal cycle. That AI has custom automated messages. Again, all the calls are recorded. We run it through our renewal script, our objection overcoming script. Our renewals manager gets scored. We can see where he did good, where he did bad, where we can train him, how do we make those calls more efficient, etc. Maintenance, I hit on already about the efficient way we use operators, an efficient way we use it for operations to make sure everything's done strategically and efficient as possible. Construction, I talked on as well. So I'm just want to make sure I don't miss any of the big ones before we run out of time. Okay, financial modeling. This is a whole webinar in and of itself. So anything you could ever want with your data, Claude can instantly do. Like, and when I mean instantly, I mean instantly. It's crazy. There's some concepts out there like burn rate per unit, profit per unit, capex per unit, like different modeling people do. I can just tell Claude to give me it at the portfolio level or at the property level, and it'll build an entire Google Sheet. It'll have a whole input section that I can change. They'll be highlighted in yellow, and I can manipulate the inputs to change the outputs. And it'll build the whole spreadsheet out within a couple minutes. And it's using my data, all my APIs, and it's right every time. And if I want to change it, if I don't like the way it's looked, if I miss something, I just prompt it back in Claude Cowork, and then it rebuilds it. We do everything in Google Sheets and Google Docs. We don't use Microsoft Excel or Word because we save everything in the cloud and Google Drive so everyone can see it. People can be editing it in real time. It works better for us. But we have Google Sheets for everything you could ever want. From our numbers, from looking at all of our T12s, looking at our pro formas, looking at our actuals, comparing it, making sure we're ahead of the trend. But even asking AI, like, hey, what numbers look out of sync? Like, what's wrong? And like, if it says, hey, your water's 10% higher. It's probably because we have some plumbing leaks, right? We're going to go try to find them and root them out. Or like we had a lingering phone bill that we didn't have a phone at this property more after we purchased it, where it found it, said, hey, you're paying $180 every month on a phone. Do you use a phone? I was like, no, we didn't even know that contract was out there being paid. Canceled it. So a lot of small things like that constantly pop up. A big one was on the real estate tax side. Obviously, I was an attorney, so I kind of knew this, but it said, hey, all these CRAs, let's try to get 100% 15-year abatement on everything. Here's exactly how to do it. If we get pushback from city council or the school board, I tell it like, hey, here's the pushback. How should we come back? How strategically can we do it? Here's their exact ordinance. What leverage do we have? What have they done in the past with other CRAs? So I can use that as arguments. It'll go look them all up. When I say it, I mean Claude will literally go do the research, find it, and give me the summary back. And there's been tons of times it's found stuff that I never would have found, no matter how long I searched. And it just has really good ideas. Or did you try this? Did you try this argument? And then it remembers, right? So then when I go to the next CRA agreement we have, it says, well, hey, we did these three edits in the last CRA agreement. They're approved. You should redline and change these two. Or let's actually look at adding this in here. We didn't do it before, but it's a good idea. And it's just constantly improving the systems across the board. But on the financial modeling, you could go through anything and everything. So we have modeling for if we add another 100 units, 200 units, how much headcount do we need across the board? On average, how much cost do we have in any one of our business segments? How much money do we make per capex dollar? That's probably the most important thing for us. That's truly our North Star. So there's a lot of sophisticated underwriting models out there. You have people who focus in on NOI. You have people who focus on cap rate change. You have the exit price. You have a cash on cash returns. Whatever you want to focus in on, the IRR. All we really care about is our return on cash, meaning if we go into a deal and when we bring $1 million to closing, and when I say we, it's usually me and Brandon bring all the money, or sometimes we have a fund I'll talk about. We supplement it a little bit with that. We're looking to get 100% return on our capital as fast as possible. So if we bring $1 million to closing, I want to be able to refinance that property in at least 12 months and get a full $1 million back. So we get all of our money back to use on the next deal. And that's what our entire underwriting model is built around. Our AI knows that, and it's always playing with it. Okay, if we put on this much capex, if we pay this much, what is the cap rate and exit price, and the rents have to be to generate 100% return, and that's what we're willing to pay for it. And that's what we've really boiled down our model to make it simple, 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 like the algorithm, the book I talked about, focuses in on. And a lot of this is prompting with AI, building spreadsheets with AI, and making sure it keeps those guardrails up. And it lets us know that, hey, this is getting a little outside your lane. These things don't match up with your typical buy box. These are the things you should look into. So cannot stress enough, all your financial modeling, make sure you throw it into AI and have it stress test everything like crazy. We look at Monte Carlo situations. Hey, if somehow our vacancy jumps up 10%, what's our break even point? Things like that, like doomsday scenarios, and make sure we have a really good worst case scenario for both us, our investors, and our lenders. Compliance and legal, I talked about the some, but we have a lot of light tech properties. I used to do light tech legal work, so that again helps, but it's unbelievable with light tech compliance. If you throw in any situation, the resident income, their pay stubs, what they're paid, their situation, it'll tell you if they qualify. It'll be exact, right? It'll pull the exact schedules for that county. It'll look at if it's 50% AMI, 60% AMI. It'll throw it all in there. It'll tell you exactly what the light tech compliance manual says, and it's just exactly right. And then every year we do our annual AOC reports, and then we usually have some findings back. I'll throw it in there first before I even look at it. Claude, tell me what to do. And the root cause analysis, the RCAs, the fixes, It's always like 95% accurate, and it'll do most of my legwork, and there'll be a couple things I need to tweak, and then that's our compliance, and it's right. I'll submit it, and they'll approve it, and it'll be good. So the legal side is just extremely good. Another great example is a mentor of ours had a huge class action lawsuit against him for terms in his lease that technically weren't, I guess, compliant, even though they're not even used. You have these huge law firms that just prey on people on stupidity in your leases and things like that, just to make a buck. So they had this law firm get a lot of the residents say, "Hey, some of these provisions in the lease aren't legal." Big class action. They had to fight it. They ultimately the owner won, but it's just a ton of money, cost, effort. You have to focus on it. So I literally told Claude, "Hey, take this lawsuit, all of the pleadings, everything filed in it, look at my case law in Ohio, and then look at my lease, and what do I need to fix?" And it had like 22 fixes. It's like none of them were like glaringly big issues, but it's like these were things they talked about. And there were 22 things I didn't even care about. Like they weren't relevant. They were things we've never used. And so I made the adjustments to make them a more compliant or kosher or less at a risk for a legal attack. And our lease, we're on V7 now. And I constantly stress test it. Claude, review our lease. What can we be sued for? What's wrong, right? I'm constantly asking it that. So that was a great example of stuff we use all the time. Um, Capital raising. So this is a newer thing for us. We've not raised a lot of capital. We've been mostly self-funded, but we use it for, again, for everything, to build our pitch decks, to even help build our model. We have a very unique model on how we pay back our investors, how we structured it. It was all rubber stamped by Claude. Obviously, we have really good professionals that rubber stamped it too. But building it out, double checking all of our legal docs, our PPM, our operating agreement, making sure there was nothing inconsistent. It just found stuff we didn't, right? We have the best lawyers, the best accountants. I reviewed it, Brandon reviewed it. We still miss stuff, right? AI does not miss stuff, rarely, right? Which is just so good. So it looks at all of that. It helps us build out all of our targeted paid ads. So I haven't even talked about the paid ad side. That's a huge use case in and of itself. Throwing in all the data from your paid ads, having it look at it and tell you which ones are performing best, what you should change, what you should A/B test. We do a lot of that with our AI as well. Right on time, marketing, copywriting. So everything we do is done through there. I don't put anything out in written format without having Claude review it, without telling it to put on its Alex Ramosi hat, review this. How can we make it better? We run it through there always. All of our scripts, all of our creative, our website copy, everything goes through there. I'm sure this spreadsheet, or not this spread, this pitch deck, I'm confident was built version 1 using AI, with very little tweaking after the fact. Um, yeah, so this kind of just sums it up. It everything is very good, right? Yes, it could be better. We've used voice agents; they're not that good. So we have humans doing a lot of things, but they're not bad. Like our after hours calls are done by voice agents, and they're pretty good. The automated replies are pretty good. Sometimes they kind of hallucinate and create things that we didn't tell it could say, but those are anomalies, right? Those are outliers. And then it's just the practical real life experience and just reasoning. It's not there yet in some cases. So another great example. It's a double-edged sword, right? Our tenant, our residents are using AI, right, against us. So like I had a resident send this huge like 4-page demand letter, but clearly written by AI. M dashes everywhere, right? Like I wouldn't use that even in law school. And basically how this unit was uninhabitable. We need to give them all this money, blah, blah, blah. And it all stemmed from there was a leak above them into their bathroom, and a little bit of moisture was coming in, and some mold in the corner did grow pretty fast. But they didn't put a work order in, so we didn't even know about it, right? So I had Claude review the letter, give me a response, and it's this 3-page response of how you didn't put this work order in, you didn't do this, we've done everything we could, like we're ready to fight, all these things. And my community manager probably would have sent that if I didn't get involved, because that's what they did, right? They brought that to me as the solution. When I just said, call them up and tell them we'll give them their money back and they can leave. And she called him up, and the resident's like, no, 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 I don't want to leave. I love it here. I just want that leak fixed. And they're like, well, we put the work order in now for you, and they're going to be there later today. We'll fix it. She's like, great. And she was happy, right? And like I just knew that bluff could be used because we've used it all the time. Where AI would have had this 3-page legal battle rearing up, right? Doing a lot of finger pointing where a simple phone call fixed it. Like AI doesn't think like that quite yet, so you have to have some common sense in there too. Um, so yeah, I mean, you saw we're not using surface level AI. It is wired into our entire business. Talked about the other webinars. Some big things about us. Yeah, Fund 3 is open. I don't know if Christian's on the call. We probably don't have enough time anyway. We have an extremely unique model. We pay it. It's um, a pref equity fund. It's an evergreen open-end fund. When you invest with us, you invest into our entire business, all of our portfolio. You get exposure to all of our assets. So our crown jewels we bought many years ago, you're an owner and all of that. We are now offering a monthly payout of 12%, 11%, or 10%, depending upon how long you'd like to commit. It is paid out monthly, or you can reinvest it and you get pre-tax monthly compounding. So you have a really unique pre-tax component where um, you can double your money at 12% every 6 years. Sorry, kicked out again. Um, at 12%, or if you take the distributions, you pay no tax on those distributions until year 9 or year 10, depending upon which class you're in, because it's considered a return of capital. So you get to keep the full 12, 10, or 11% every month, and you don't pay any tax until year 9 or year 10. It's pretty interesting. We can talk more about that on other calls if you have any interest. And then you're in the pref equity spot. You're paid right after the bank. You're number 2 in our capital stack. Me and Brandon is the common equity. We protect it all. So again, really unique capital structure and how we raise funds with our investors. Christian's in charge of that. Here you can book a call with him. I get looped into a lot of those calls now too. Happy to talk about it anytime. But otherwise, I'll open up to questions. I know we don't have a ton of time, and I know I went really fast, but happy to answer what questions I can here and then offline as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, Justin, for coming on and really opening the book for us, diving in depth into your operations. This is awesome. I do have a ton of questions here. This is probably the most questions that we've had on a webinar so far. So thank you so much, everyone, for dropping your questions in here. The first question that I can see is from Chad Malcolm. Chad Malcolm asks, how much does your entire tech stack cost per month or year to have all of this automated?
Yeah, great question. For Claude Cowork itself, we don't spend that much just for truly the compute. Maybe 4,000 a month now is all we're at. We're pretty efficient with how we use it. The contractor we pay the 10 hours a month, I think he's 6,000 a month. The in-house AI virtual assistant, he's very inexpensive. He's paid hourly, like a typical offshore contractor. Um, and then the rest is just the tech we already use is fed into the data. So it's all just part of our normal tech stack. So Slack is maybe 3,000 a year. Obviously, AppFolio, that's like $1 a unit per month. Elise AI is pretty cheap to use for leasing. So it's not a lot. I mean, in totality, our tech stack is less than $100,000. It's just tying it all together as an operating DNA like we did is the big thing. And then that contractor, right? He's building that for us. It's work for hire. So he'll keep building. I don't know if we'll ever not use him as long as he's willing to do it, but that stuff is like one and done. So it's not recurring in the sense he has to maintain it. He builds it and we use it.
Awesome. Thank you. And for everybody who's still on, please ask any questions you have. We're going to go through all of them and make sure that you get your questions answered here. Damon Parker asks or says, Justin, thank you for a great presentation. He'd like to receive some more information. His information's in there. Christian or Liam, if you guys could reach out to him, it's Damon Parker. He's got his information. DM are the initials here. He just says you guys may check out digital locks. He's wondering why keys instead of digital locks.
Sorry, we have digital lock boxes that has a key in it. Simply because almost all of our units are already keyed. So we have a D-ring and a digital lock box that has a digital key code that they type in the code. It's a one-time use code and the keys are in it. So we do have digital, so we don't have to be there, but we do have old school keys because most of our properties are 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s vintage, and we're not going to change out all the locks.
Keith Nunn asks for quarterly surveys on average, what percentage of the property responds to that request for information?
Yeah, that's a great question. If we offer the $10 gift card, it's significantly higher. I'd guess 50% is probably a normal use case. Obviously, we're trying to get it to be higher and higher. And an automated call, not an automated call, an automated task now for our renewals manager to call them that to fill out the survey has helped a lot. I'd love for it to be up in the 70, 80% adoption rate though.
Cash East asks, is your goal to have the AI work go through a chat, have all the AI work go through a chat interface, or are you building standalone tools in a web app or a desktop form?
Yeah, great question. So we all use Claude Cowork, the desktop app just natively that Claude has. Everyone has their own. It's a team account, but all of the outputs are saved as Google files in our team cloud Google Drive that everyone has access to, depending upon permission. Some people can access different folders than others, but it's all saved there. That's just kind of native stack. We then have Slack integrated where a lot of the outputs and we have scoreboards for everything. I didn't even touch on that. Every division, there's an 8 a.m. scoreboard sent out to all the team members of the division every day on all the important KPIs, the leading lagging indicators, all automated. That's all gets sent in Slack from Claude, but it's in Slack to see. And then there's a Google Sheet usually linking where you can double click into the info and see more about it. That's where Claude got it from. And then we do have our own dashboard custom that our AI contractor built that you can log into. And it has, like, for example, the leasing team can see all their calls, their scores. You can click in and see the scorecard that AI gave you. And that is our own custom dashboard that he built for us. That's its own like website you can log into.
Stephen Andrews asks, can you give a little more insight into how you are writing your surveys, what questions, etc.?
I literally asked Claude, Claude, what are the top questions we should ask to pull and extract data about the customer's experience and then be able to solve it so we increase the renewal percentage? And we just kept prompting that, and it gave us like the top 20 questions. But everything's on a 1 to 10, right? That's our framework. So like cleanliness of unit, how did they like our quarterly inspections? How the maintenance team been so far? Cleanliness of the common areas, cleanliness of the exterior. What could we improve? What they don't like about our leasing, right? Like all the things, there's a bunch of them, and they give it 1 to 10, and they have a comment section too. And if it's not a 10, we have our renewals manager call them and just walk them through each one. Like, why wasn't this a 10? Why was it a 10? If they don't put detailed comments in, and they just go down through each one. But we literally used AI to build out the survey, asking it, hey, here's all of our data input. This is what we're trying to do. Build the survey for us.
Fantastic. Last question I have here. If you have any questions, this is last call. This question is from DM. Are you worried about Claude or Anthropic stealing this whole model from you and selling it as a service? Just mentioning that they are considering doing that for other folks who are building on top of their platform. So they're just curious if you're worried about some sort of package from Claude coming out to do all this.
No, it's a good question, but zero concern. The hard work's the execution, right? I can tell all of you exactly what we do. You then have to go out and do it, right? The doing is the trade secret, right? So I'm not concerned about competition, people stealing stuff. I'll tell anybody and everybody anything they want. We're completely transparent, open book. It's doing everything we've done the last 10 years and continuing to do it. That's the hard part, right? Claude's not going to steal that and use that. They have a million other businesses that they can get into. They don't care about C-class multifamily real estate in Ohio.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for hopping on and opening this for us and sharing all of these ideas and different execution patterns that you guys have. Any last words for the audience here?
Thanks a lot, AJ. Appreciate Best Ever letting us do this. Been a great partnership so far. Yeah, I just say reach out, right? I love to chat about this. Obviously, I'm passionate about it. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can find me realestatealpha.io. The website's there. Reach out to us. My email, Justin at realestatealpha.io. connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to hop on a call, answer questions anytime, unsolicited. I've had tons of people give me great advice that have fed into this, and happy to pay it back whenever we can. And if you have any interest of learning a lot more and want to invest with us, obviously scan the QR code on the screen.
Thank you, Justin, and Jeremy, and other folks who may have joined past the beginning. We did record this entire webinar. It will be sent out to the entire Best Ever audience. So if you'd like to watch the recording, study what Justin has said, there's going to be an opportunity to do that. Just keep an eye on your email. Thank you again, Justin and Christian and Liam, for hopping on the call today. Thank you, everyone, for watching our webinar, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, AJ.